Hey, hi, hello pals, and welcome back to another video. As you can see, it moved. There'll be a room tour coming your way, but I'm picking up a couple of things tomorrow and I'm thinking of ordering some more things as well, so I didn't want to do that today since I know I have stuff that's changing. So today I figured I would do a long in the planning how I organise my dissertation video. I've been planning on doing this kind of since November and I wanted to wait until I finished my dissertation, and then so much stuff happened, like with exams and moving and everything, so I haven't actually gotten around to it until now, and I'm still not sure kind of how I'm doing it. So this video is just going to be what it is. But I figured I would start off with first talking about kind of how I organised my actual dissertation document. So for clarification, I did a dissertation in accounting. It was a bachelor's dissertation and my word limit was 9 till 11,000 words. So just to give you an idea as to the length. And obviously stuff like this will differ kind of based on your guidelines and stuff that you get from your university. But the way it was for me was that first there was a cover page, abstracts, acknowledgements, and then a table of contents. I also had like a glossary and abbreviations and stuff, just because in accounting there is a lot of abbreviations. And I also used 2 languages. So for obviously my dissertation was in English, but I used Norwegian as well, so any Norwegian words were translated or explained in my glossary. So the way my university wanted the rest of it to kind of be structured was that it should be introduction, lit review, research methods, and then you could do just your findings and then a separate analysis section, or you could combine them. I chose to combine them because I was doing textual analysis, so I didn't really have any results, I was just interpreting text. And then a conclusion, and then obviously references and appendices. And that's how I did mine. I went through quite a lot of different ways I chose to organise it, like during the different stages, but what I ended up doing was that I ended up having a separate Word document for each section, just for like ease of navigation and stuff. So I would have a separate document for my introduction, I would have a separate document for part 1 of my lit review, part 2 of my lit review, part 1 of my methodology and stuff like that. And then towards the end, when everything was kind of coming together and I was just editing here and there, I combined them all into one long document, and that's how I did mine. So when I talk about documents, I did all of it in Google Docs. So I just had a folder for my dissertation and then several subfolders in there, and I just made sure to kind of be consistent with naming and in a way that made sense for me. What I found really helpful though when I combined it all into one document at the end was to use the function that Google Docs have where you can hyperlink your table of contents, so that clicking on things in the table of contents will take you to the heading. I found that really helpful just for ease of navigation again, and just always keeping my table of contents open in a separate tab at all times, just for ease, because you do end up with like a long document. Like mine was 41 pages in the end, and like navigating it is a bit of a hassle. Also, since I am the accountant that I am, I also had a separate spreadsheet to go with my dissertation where I kept track of word counts, especially because I'm someone who never reaches the minimum word count of assignments. Like, I find that difficult because my writing is really concise. You know, I can cover enough material in just less words. I'm not a very wordy person on paper. I definitely am in person, but not on paper. So I kept track of kind of the guide word counts that we were given for each section, and then my current word count and everything like that, and I had a graph. I found that helpful just to see kind of what progress I was making and stuff, and also really motivating to see me getting closer to the goal. So that's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to call it a brief overview of how I organised my dissertation because it wasn't really brief, but that's kind of how I organised the thing itself. The other big thing is organising sources, because in something like a dissertation you have a lot of sources. I think I ended up citing something like 90 sources, just around there, but I had a good almost like 250 sources saved. So the way I ended up doing it, I think I saw a post on Postgrad's Tumblr. I'll link her down below. She's amazing anyway. I think it might have been reblogged, I'm not sure. But it was about using OneNote for source management. What I did was that I created separate notebooks in OneNote, one for primary sources and one for secondary sources, because obviously I was doing primary research, even though it was just textual analysis. I had all my primary source documents in one notebook separated into UK and Norway, since that was the areas I was looking at. And then for my secondary sources, I divided them into multiple categories. Let me read them off to you. I had journal articles, legal stuff, industry publications, stuff published by the ISB, other dissertations, books, comment letters, stuff related to method, and just other as a category. And honestly, I found that to be so helpful. So what I did was that when I found a source, I would download it as a PDF. I would open OneNote and create a new page, or whatever they're called, in the correct section, and then I would insert the source as a PDF printout. That way I could annotate it and do whatever I wanted, and then the title of the page I did as the reference of the source. And this meant that I did the referencing straight away, and I referenced every single thing, even the ones that I didn't end up using. I referenced them once I found them, and it made it really easy to navigate. It made stuff really easy to find, and it meant that once I cited something, I had the citation readily available, and I could just paste it both into my text and into my bibliography as I went, which was really helpful, because I didn't have to do any referencing at the end. I only checked my references at the end. I didn't actually have to do any, like, for the first time, which was amazing. And so this angle, slightly different it might be, but yeah, if there's anything I recommend, it is to do your referencing in your sources as you go, because it is tedious work and doing it all at the end seems like hell. I'm really glad I didn't have to. What I also did when it came to organise my dissertation was that I kept a running list just in my bullet journal. If I hadn't had my bullet journal, I would just have kept it on a notepad somewhere. But what I did was that I had one column for tasks and one column for just notes and stuff, and I just put the signifier in the right column and then wrote it out. And then once I had dealt with it, I would just cross it off, and then once the majority of the stuff on the page was crossed off, I would just migrate the remaining stuff and create new lists. And that's what I did. I found that the easiest, and then I would just put stuff on the day I was dealing with it and as a regular to-do list. But that's what I found the most helpful, was just that running to-do list, and keeping both notes from meetings and notes. I didn't keep like source notes or anything, but if I came across something that was like, oh, this is a great point, or like, oh, I need to make sure that I do this in my method or whatever, I really enjoyed keeping that all in one place, like not even just its own notebook or something, but just making sure that I kept it in that format and kept everything like that. But yeah, that's how I organised 3 different aspects of my dissertation. If there's anything you are interested in me going into in more detail, please leave me a comment and I will respond and tell you more about it, or I could even do a Tumblr post on it if you're interested. Other than that, I really enjoyed my dissertation. I had a great time, and all the hard work ended up really paying off for me in the end, which is really nice. And yeah, overall I am so stoked that I had that experience and that it turned out as well as it did. But now I'm on to a new part of my life, as is evidenced by the fact that I moved, and it's going to be different from now. And bearing that in mind, if there's anything you want to see, if you want me to do some sort of update on how I'm doing, if you want me to do a Q&A, or just any videos you want to see in the future, feel free to just leave me a little comment or send me an ask on Tumblr or DM me on Instagram, or however you want to get in touch with me. But I really want to know what you guys want to see now that I've kind of finished education, because there's still a couple of months until I start my professional education, so definitely let me know what you guys want to see before then and after then as well. And yeah, but for now that's going to be it, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, take care.
Can't you see that it's just raining? There ain't no need to go outside.